Welcome in, my beautiful builders. In today's episode, we're going to be taking this entire harbor area and turn it into this. Let's get into it. So this is going to be a big one. I'm just going to go ahead and say that outright here at the beginning of the episode. This episode, it's a series changer. What do I mean by that? Well, you know how the entranceway over here was a pretty big build, and then the bridge and the barracks and the tower, that was also a pretty big build. The amount of progress that's going to be done in today's episode is probably going to trump both of those, because today's episode is landscaping. Right now, this entire area, this entire cove that we've been planning to build in, it's just not big enough, and it's also not flat enough. So right off the bat in today's episode, I have moved over our beacon, and it's time to do some serious landscaping. This entire area needs to be transformed, and it's going to be a lot of work. So, rather than show you guys us doing all the digging, I think it's time-lapse time. So after about 8 hours worth of digging, this area looks a lot different. It really does. But this gives us a lot more room to work in the future, to get more builds in, to add in streets and things like that. But when I was doing this, I actually had an idea, because standing back here and looking at this, it's really not that much area. It's really not that much room. Like, I was going to do the port just kind of in this area, and I honestly just don't think that's big enough. So, new idea, new plan. I have a marker over here on this coastline. I have a marker over here right next to our giant cave, and then I also have a marker over on the entrance to the kingdom. And my idea is to start over here, kind of toward the entranceway, and I'm going to make my port area, my main ship area, over here in front of the cave. Now, eventually I am going to do something with this cave. I know a lot of you guys are super excited about that, but we're not doing it yet. I'm going to hold off on doing that. But the main port area is going to stretch across here, and I'm probably going to give it kind of a little bit of a curved shape, like it kind of goes inward, like an inlet a little bit, and then come out a little bit wider out here, and then it's going to follow the river in. On this side, I'm going to bring it out, and then once again kind of curve it a little bit of an S shape, and then curve it into the river here. So this should give us a much wider port area for us to actually fit ships in. Another reason that I'm doing this is I kind of still wanted direct route from this waterway here to the front entrance. And if I just put my boats right here, like off of this port, the boats and the docks and stuff would really get in the way of this straight shot from entrance to exit. So I really didn't want that. So this is my compromise. I'm just going to make the port a lot bigger. And I think it'll work. But we have a lot to do. So let's start over here, I think. And I'm just going to get in kind of a general shape of how I want the bottom port area to look. We're just going to outline first on both sides, and then then we'll see where we go from there. We're probably just going to do a lot of filling in today, but we should get at least a good idea of the size, scale, and hopefully the beauty that this port has. Hopefully we'll at least get to see some potential today. Okay, so for kind of a general shape, this is what I was thinking here. So we're coming out of the side of this mountain, and then we're just slowly curving until we're going straight down the river until we reach the bend in the river right here around this land. At this point, we'll kind of try to flow with the river the best that we can until we reach toward the back where the river actually ends. So this was kind of my thought. This may end up changing a little bit as I work out this curve a little bit more, but for right now, just so you guys can get a general idea of what I'm going for here, this kind of captures it. And I'm also not doing any type of perfect circle here or anything like that. I'm just kind of feeling my way around doing this curve. I don't want it to be picture perfect because most things that are built in a medieval style are not completely perfect, and I don't think that something at this scale should be completely even and completely equal and pretty looking. So if this is a little bit rough, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it looking like it was built during medieval times, so that's totally fine with me. And I think that that's actually a misconception that a lot of beginner builders actually have, is that they think that everything has to be just picture perfect and totally symmetric, and it's not the case at all. It's not the case at all. You can really make things unsymmetrical as long as you detail them out correctly. I mean, you can make something that's completely unsymmetrical look really pretty. So that's the goal here. I'm not going for anything that's super symmetrical. We're just going for cool shapes. Cool shapes. That's the goal here. All right, I ain't gonna lie. This side, much harder. Much harder to get a curve that I like. All right, now, yeah, this one's definitely gonna need some work, but I'm just gonna finish it off and then we will adjust the curves afterward. But I think I'm fairly close. Maybe. I really don't know. I swear, dude, I'm about to turn the weather cycle off. This is getting extraordinarily annoying. Every time I want to record. Every time. It's like, hey, you got something to say? You want to record a clip? Here, have some rain. Thanks, Minecraft. I appreciate you. Anyway, this curve. Not terrible. Not terrible. This definitely needs to be changed, but apart from that, I'm okay with it. I may fix that toward the end back there and make that a little more curvy this way, but I mean, for just eyeballing it on my first try, not too bad. I'm gonna fix this little corner pointy bit real quick, and yeah, other than that, pretty good. Close, but still not right. Okay, so let's just go ahead and cut to the chase. So after about an hour of working on this, I now have these shapes kind of in a pretty good place. They're not perfect by any means, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. This will work as a good base for our port. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and fill in from this outline all the way until we hit shore. And this will kind of be the top of our tiered port. So we're going to extend these down into the water, and then we're also going to fill them into the land so that we have a nice big port area for us to work with. And it's a good thing that I started off this episode by taking down 2 mountains, because this is going to take quite a bit of stone. And I guess something that I should mention is that I'm not going to keep this as stone bricks for forever. Eventually, I am going to texture in other blocks to this port, such as andesite, stone, cobblestone, and, whatever else I think fits. But stone bricks is actually something that I use quite often whenever I'm making really, really large scale builds like this, just because it's a relatively nice looking block. And it's pretty easy to get if you have a Silk Touch pickaxe. And it's good for just like seeing the shape of a structure. It's not, the most detailed thing in the world. It's a good block, but it's not going to add a ton of texture. It's going to be pretty plain. And I think that that works. I think that that works for me for kind of laying out and designing a build. So it's something that I do quite often. I just start building with stone bricks and then I texture things out later. Alrighty, and with one side completely done. Oh, that's looking good. That's looking real good. Now, I did not bring the wall all the way down to the floor underneath the water. Not yet, at least. I'm going to eventually, but I'm actually a little bit worried that we're going to run out of stone, and I may have to do some mining. But for right now, we're just going to do what's above the surface of the water, and I mean, I like how this is turning out so far. I do. I like how this is turning out. So let's go ahead. Let's continue doing this side, and yeah, this side's going to take a lot longer. And this area is now filled in as well, and 100%, I did run out of stone. I am completely out of stone, not a single block left to my name, so I need to go and heal up my Silk Touch pickaxe so that we can actually go and get some more stone. Now, by the way, that's not to say that I'm out of the materials from taking down these mountains. Far from it, but it's all cobblestone. I use mostly Fortune 3 picks in order to take down these mountains, so yeah, I don't feel like smelting all that up. I'd much rather just go and get more stone with a Silk Touch pick. So that's what I'm going to do, but I need to first off heal up my picks. So let's take a trip over to my villagers. So hopefully I can go ahead and kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You see what I did there? Because we're trying to get stone. Anyway, I'm going to trade with this guy. I'm going to trade with this farmer villager because not only will the trading from this give me experience to heal up my pickaxe, but I also am out of food, so I really need to trade with this guy for some golden carrots as well. So that's good. Healing up our pickaxe. Now let's trade him for some golden carrots, and I mean, not bad. We got a little bit of experience from that. Our pick is looking better. I need to do more trades. Ooh, discounted prices. That's what I'm talking about. Hello there, buddy. Oh, you discounted the carrots too. You see, this is why me and you are friends. We're definitely friends. Don't tell this guy, but I'm still getting a zombie over here to eat his face pretty soon. I gotta get even lower prices. Okay, so I got some more stone bricks for me to work with here, and I think that the next thing that I want to do, since both of the main dock areas are done, I think I want to go ahead and get in the second level. So my entire plan with this port is to actually make this multiple tiers. So you'll have the dock tier that's actually down low at the water. That's going to be wood, probably spruce wood, maybe some dark oak wood. And then there's going to be stairs that go up onto this port level. But from this port level, I don't want everything to just be flat. I would like to have another level up here on top of where we took down these mountains. So there, as well as here. And I would like those levels to stretch back probably to where our starter house is, and then go up another level until we're fairly close to the level where our entrance gate to our kingdom city is going to eventually be. So I'm thinking like 3 different levels here for the port. So let's just go ahead and let's get a second level in, and let's just see how I actually like that. So once again, I'm just going to start off with an outline. And for this level, I am actually going to make this relatively square. I don't think that I'm going to deal with like super complex curves here. I think that this will look fine if it's pretty rectangular. Although that may be a problem as we try to follow the river, but I'll figure that out. Yeah, I definitely think that something like this can work. So as we go back toward the back portion of the river, we're actually going to go with more of a curved look until we end up just a little bit past our starter house. And then somewhere here, we'll actually start our next level of the port city here. But I think that this is fine. So this will be our next tier up. We'll end off this tier here, and then this tier will actually stretch down into the water. I think that works. Let's just go ahead and fill this in, and if we need to change it, we can change it. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually getting a little bit nervous about this episode because I really don't know if these large-scale builds and large-scale episodes are really something that people enjoy, because it's kind of boring and kind of repetitive, but at the same time, doing this type of work is the foundation. It is the basis of the rest of everything that we're going to be doing around here. So it's very important and not something I feel we should skip over. I think that talking through these ideas is really important. You know, every massive build, every, thing of beauty, it starts with a good plan. And that's kind of what this episode is a lot of stone brick, but also a plan. Dude, you can't even lie. You can't even lie. Go ahead. Go in the comments, try to lie, and say that this doesn't look freaking sick. Because this looks freaking sick, dude. I absolutely love this. I have so much inspiration just from flat areas. Dude. Like, we can do like a stairway going up here that then wraps into that mountainside. We can do streets and houses, and we can do other stairs going up. We can do a bridge across. We can do other streets this way, maybe a market over here. We have so much potential with this area. Oh, it's looking freaking sick. And I'm not even done yet. I still have this next level to do that's going to kind of match up with this level on the other side toward the back and make like a circular area toward the back. We're not even done, and this area looks freaking awesome. Okay, so I know this waterfall has been here since the very first episode, but I mean, it's coming from a single water source. This thing has got to go. Goodbye, my friend. You will be missed by some people, I'm sure. Not me, though. I definitely want you gone. And I may add another waterfall in of some sort in the future, but for right now, this thing's just in the way. So, yeah, it's gotta go. It's collateral damage. I'm getting pretty excited about this area. I am. I'm getting pretty excited about the port. So the second tier on this side is now in. So as you can see, we have this tier that is down there, and now this is going to be our second tier for the entire port area, and it's filled in all the way back to the end of the river. Now, at the end of the river, I actually want to add in one last tier, one last section before we enter into the main city. And for this area, I think I'm just going to have kind of like mimicking staircases of some sort on each side. And then in the middle, I'm going to connect it up to where we have a nice big gap here at the end of the river. Somewhere in this area, I just want a nice open space so that we can add, I don't know, a fountain or a statue or something like that in that area. I think will look really cool. But for right now, we're just going to get the platforms in. So I'm going to go ahead and extend this back, and I may have to do a little bit of mountain clearing here just so that we have enough room to kind of walk this way. But I mean, this shouldn't be too bad. This should be pretty easy. And I think that we're going to plan for the gate for the Kingdom City to be somewhere at about this point here between the two mountains, I think. Maybe a little bit further back. I'm not sure, but we're not working on that right now. For right now, we just need to make sure that we have a way to get up there. So one last platform should be fine. And I think that will do it as far as the platforms are concerned. We now have the very last platform in all the way back at the back, and not bad. I may have to extend that or something in the future in order to get more, room to do things up there, but overall, I think that this is fine. And I mean, the port looks promising to me. It does. I mean, very boring because it's all stone brick, but you're getting the idea for the layout, right? You're getting an idea for where we're going with this. We're going to have buildings on each side. We're going to have different level changes between the port all over the place, here, there. And overall, I think that looks really cool. This all looks really promising. And now it's time to put away the stone bricks because we need to get some type of port area in. And I also need to get in some stairs, like badly, because I'm not able to get up back to my base very easily. So I think that I'm going to start out by getting our absolute lowest level to this area in, and that is the actual docks themselves. So I'm going to start over here kind of toward our entranceway, and eventually whenever we actually, finish this build, probably in the next episode, I'm actually going to tie this in a little bit better. But for right now, let's just come somewhere like right here, and we're just going to come, let's go 5 blocks out from this wall. I think that should be fine and give us a nice wide area for us to, build off of. And I'm basically just going to come out by 5 blocks all the way until we reach somewhere around this area on the other side. So we're going to keep this kind of an organic shape because I'm just going to follow the wall just 5 blocks out every single time. So if the wall goes in, so does this. And we're just basically going to follow the curve of the rest of the port of this section here. So should be pretty straightforward, just 5 block path all the way over to there. Alrighty, so that is now in, and this is actually starting to look a bit like a completed dock. I mean, obviously, we still need some places for boats to actually park, but for right now, I mean, this is looking pretty good. It's definitely promising. I also went ahead and added these pillars that go down into the water as support beams, and they just have a 7-block gap between them. I may end up changing that out, and I may end up giving a bit of a bigger gap later on. It just kind of depends on what size of ship I'm going to fit in here. I don't think I'm going to do really big ships. I think I want to do like cargo style ships inside of the port here. And then any bigger military ships have to stay outside of the port because, well, obviously they're not going to be able to fit through the gate, but also for security reasons for the city and the port, those big cannon ships don't need to come in here. So that's kind of my reasoning behind it. So just small like trade ships should be parked here, I believe. Now, the next thing that I want to do is get some stairs in because getting back to my base right now is kind of a pain in the butt. So I'm going to break into our second tier here. And basically, my idea is just to give myself a way to access this next level. And I think I'm going to pick any areas that have a 3-block gap. So I think I have the exact same thing over on this side. I don't want to do like a central staircase. I think that's going to look a little weird. But if we do one on each side, I think it'll still be fine. So yeah, it looks like I have a 3-block gap right here. We can go ahead and tear this out and get ourselves a nice little staircase in here as well. Now, I will have to fill this in here with some stone brick just to kind of close up the gaps, but that's fine. We can totally do that. Not a problem. Not a problem. But yeah, getting some stairs up. Stairs are are super needed because right now I can't even get back to my house easily. So yeah, just something simple like this that will let me get between the layers for right now is perfectly fine. And I'm going to go ahead and do that to basically everywhere that I want a staircase. Like here on this second level, I really wanted a staircase here to get up to this area. And I think I'm probably going to want one over there. And I may want some others around here as well. But basically, that's the idea. I just want to get in some stairs so that I can actually get around this place right now. Right now, it's a pain to navigate my own area. Okay, so I'm going to teach you guys a trick. And some of you may think that this is super dumb, but this is something that I do for my areas. For anything that I'm building in Minecraft, I want to be able to navigate around this area super easily. I want to be able to add in stairs and, buildings and bridges and things like that allow me to get from point A to point B quicker. So something that I do whenever I'm playing around with an area is I just go to any random section of my area and say I'm right here. How do I get to over there the quickest route possible? And what I do is I go, okay, well, let's see. I don't have stairs or a bridge or anything here, so that means I got to go up these stairs all the way around and then down over to here. Or I would alternatively have to go into the water, climb up that mountainside, and then get to there. So what does that mean about this area? we need a bridge. We need something that allows me to get from here to there easily. This sounds like a really stupid thing, but it actually allows you to navigate your world pretty easily. So if I'm down here, for example, what is the quickest way for me to get to that back area, right? All the way to the 3rd tier. Okay, well, I can just walk all the way along this side street here, and oh, look at there. I actually have a staircase right here, and it's not a completely direct path, but I mean, it's not super annoying. It's not going all the way around something in order to get to an area. This is a really good way to determine if you need additional staircases, if you need additional builds such as bridges, towers, things like that. This is a great method to just figure out how to get around in your world, because it is super important. If you have to go, all the way around something to get materials, you're probably not going to go get those materials, let's be honest. So just kind of a general thought here, but something that I did want to share is like whenever you're planning things, just pick a random spot. Like if I was over there on my dock, what's the quickest way to get to the top 3rd tier all the way over there? Well, if I'm all the way there, you take those stairs, and then I can get all the way to the back there. That's how I set things up. I don't know. Probably a stupid idea here, and it may sound obvious, but it's a method that I use. And trust me, I get it. I know. I overthink the heck out of my builds. Like, all of this is just planning. Obviously, this isn't a completed build by any means, but I plan and plan and plan and plan, and eventually all of that planning comes full circle until I have a completed build. So while right now all of this is planning, I mean, I already have stairs and stuff in, right? I mean, we're getting there. We're getting toward a completed build already. Okay, so let's go ahead and start building out this dock a little bit more. Start adding in a little bit of detail. And the first thing that I did was I added in some pillars to break up this back wall. So I just did 5 blocks in between and then did a stripped spruce column of logs right there. And continuing that pattern all the way down, and we have something that looks pretty nice. It's not the, most amazing thing in the world, but it breaks up this back wall, which is all that I really needed to do. I also didn't like this just being, a straight drop down, so I wanted to add some type of ledge here, so I went pretty simple and followed the same pattern that I did below, so just a 5 block gap, and I did some polished andesite blocks, and then in between those, I did polished andesite slabs. And I've only gotten to over there at the end of our docks, but I think I want to continue this railing all the way around the port, at least on this level. Maybe on this upper level, we change out the railing and do something different, but I think for right now, for this level, I'm perfectly fine with just, keeping this the same all the way around. So for just a second, let's get a little bit crazy, and let's see if we like this. We're going to add just a half slab of deep slate to the top of these, and let's just take a look at it. I feel like I'm not going to like this, but at the same time, it could be a cool little detail. Let's take a look from the top up here. I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad. It doesn't look bad by any means, but I'm not sure. I'm not entirely sure if that's what I was going for. I mean, it looks okay. It does. It does look okay. But I think that it may give too dark of a tone to the city itself. And maybe that's not such a good idea. I'm not sure. I also added it over here, but yeah, I'm still not sure about that. Let's just add it. We'll add it. Let's be risky. Let's be risky. Oh man, if you guys don't like this, let me know in the comments section down below, because I don't know, I'm indifferent to it. I think that it looks kind of cool, but I don't know. It's cool, but maybe not fitting with what I'm doing here. And then I'm saying this, and I may end up stepping back after I have it in everywhere and end up absolutely loving it, but that's kind of how my building goes. I just kind of, wing things, and sometimes it turns out good, and sometimes it turns out to be a disaster. hopefully this is one of those things that turns out good. So now that the whole port has it, I think it's kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. It's maybe not initially what I was going for, but now that it's in, I do like it. I do like it. It's just a little bit of a different tone. And, I mean, at this point, maybe any different tone other than stone brick is going to look good, but I really do. I think that that's fine. I do. I think that it adds like a little bit of a darker theme to the city here, but, I mean, that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. We're good. We're good. I like this. So I am actually running out of time for this episode, but there are a few last things that I really want to get in. And one of those things is some actual docking stations, some places for people to come and park their boats. So, you know what? You know what? I give up. I give up. You stupid rain. It just rains all the time. It rains all the time. I can't win. I can't win. Anyway, docking stations. I'm going to put a place for some boats to park and stuff like that. Just kind of stretching out into the water here. A place for them to dock, to unload cargo, stuff like that. And I think I'm just going to come out with some spruce for right now. And I may also do some smaller docks kind of toward the end over there. So maybe that is for small ships that can easily get in and out of the port at that sharp angle. And then over on this side, we'll have some area for like some larger ships. And I don't think that I want each one of these to come out to the same length either, because I think it would be cooler if we had like a bigger ship here and then maybe a smaller ship docked next to it and so on and so forth. So I don't think that I'm going to make each one of these lengths all the way out to the same length. So maybe here, since this one doesn't go out as far, maybe we have like a shorter ship that can dock on this side and a larger, maybe longer ship that can dock on that side. Things like that. I think that having just some variation could look really cool here. So another thought that I had is, since this area down here is going to be for smaller ships, maybe passenger ships that aren't unloading a ton of cargo and stuff, this area probably doesn't need to be as wide as this area, right? You would think that this area, they're going to be having, carts and things like that, taking materials on and off of the boats, whereas this probably isn't going to have that. So they can just kind of park their ship and get out, and this is a single stall in which they can use, rather than, sharing a stall with a bigger ship, or, having one big ship in like this stall. So that's another idea that I had, and I think that doing just these little one wide areas will first off allow us to get more ships into the port, but also another way to just add a little bit of variation here. Just, another thing that's different about this area. You have both your big ship area and your small ship area that, can't really... The big ships aren't going to be able to make this sharp turn in from the ocean, but smaller ships most definitely could. Also, for these wider docks, we're definitely going to want to rethink how we are supporting them, because this coming in the middle isn't really going to make a lot of sense. So I think we're going to take that out, and maybe we will do a pillar on this side, and then at each of the ends. May even be a good idea to put some out here on the side, like kind of on the edge going down into the water, but I don't know. We'll see how that actually ends up looking, but let's go ahead and at least get in these pillars here. So after adding in these additional supports, I still feel like this dock may actually be too small. So I'm actually going to widen these things out a bit, and I may actually make them a little bit longer too, because For big ships to be able to dock here, they're going to have to be pretty long and pretty wide. And the three wide just didn't look very good, to be honest. Like, just from a size perspective, it didn't look good in this port. So I'm going to extend these out to being 5 wide, if I can ever place these slabs right. There we go. I'm going to extend this out to being 5 wide. I think that'll make it look a lot better. It'll allow us to add extra supports on the sides as well, so we'll have a little bit more room to do that. And then if we extend them out a little bit, I think it'll feel even better. Now, the question is, how far can we actually extend these docks out Oh, we can still extend these out a long way. I just don't want to get past this point here. I don't want to get past... Hold on, let me get out my spyglass. I don't want to get past the end of this point here. That's kind of my breaking point. If we get past that, I think it's going to look funny. But as long as we stay kind of in this inlet a bit, I think we're fine. So let's extend these 5 wide ones out at least close to there. And I am a bit concerned that I'm going to have to make some larger ships to go into this area because, well, our gate's only so high, so we can't make anything too big, but it has to be big enough that it basically fills this entire slot. And I'm not the best shipbuilder in the world, so this is going to be a future Kilodrone problem for sure. And now that I have widened each one of these docks, I have to say it looks good. Even the ones that were 1 block thick are now 3 blocks thick, and I think that actually looks better as well. Obviously, all of this is going to look a lot better whenever we get ships and stuff in, but ladies and gentlemen, we are way over our time for today's episode. I do hope that you guys enjoyed it though. If you did, be sure to leave a like on the video. And one last thing, I just want to say that I really appreciate you guys. We are extremely close to 50,000 subscribers, and we probably will hit it before the next episode of this series comes out. So I just want to go ahead and give like an early thank you guys for the support, and onward to 50,000. That's what I say. Hopefully in the next episode, we'll actually have it. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for me today. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. You guys have a great day.